What's up? How you doing? Yeah.
Dental surgery.
I talked to her yesterday.
Okay. Okay. No problem. We'll get that in. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for attending the City of Uniontown's regular City Council meeting of October 2nd, 2025. Roll call.
Councilman Billy.
Here.
Councilman Thomas.
Here.
Councilman Winfrey.
Here.
Councilwoman Brown. We'll note her as absent. Mayor Gerke.
Here. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There was an executive session held today, Thursday, October 2nd, 2025 at 4:30 regarding contract negotiations. Do we have any comments on agenda items only? If not, just a couple of quick items. Halloween event at Bailey Park, October 31st, 5 to 9 on the trail. It'll be a nice evening. There'll be booths there. Miss Brown, unfortunately, she's not here this evening, but she's putting that together, and it'll be a real nice time. Wear your costumes. There'll be treats there. It'll be a nice evening for everyone, and a good time for the whole city. And number two, we had our cleanup day this past Saturday. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend, but Pastor Winfrey, he took charge of the cleanup day, which was successful, and we had a lot, got a lot of garbage picked up. Pastor Winfrey and I took a ride through the city, which we do individually quite often, but he and I took a ride through the city, and I think we had, 25 pickups that we looked at and needed cleaned up. And each year, each time we clean up, we can see that the city's getting cleaner and cleaner. And I can thank previous code officer Terrence Price and our present code officer, Miss Jamie Wallagore, for just getting on top of things, getting people in compliance. I think Jamie had about 40 pickups, so that kept everyone busy on Saturday, and it was a good event. And thanks for all who participated, and we look forward to seeing you in the springtime, and I'll definitely be there for that. That's all I have, Mr. Whip.
Thank you, Mayor. We will go ahead into the regular agenda. Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to receive the report of the treasurer for the month of September 2025, being the same as hereby received and filed. Councilman Billy?
Yes.
Councilman Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Winfrey?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to accept the minutes of the September 4th, 2025 regular council meeting, being the same as hereby accepted and filed. Councilman Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Winfrey?
Yes.
Councilman Billy?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown, the council hereby directs the Director of Accounts and Finance to make payment of the following invoices for services rendered or products procured for the City of Uniontown for the months of September 2025. General Fund totaling $114,624.07. Sewer Fund totaling $5,353.36. Recreation Fund totaling $9,115.51. Recycling Fund totaling $4,023.83. Highway Fund totaling $3,220.39. Off-Street Fund totaling $2,292.40. And Library Fund totaling $30,769.41. Councilman Winfrey?
Yes.
Councilman Billy?
Yes.
Councilman Thomas?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown that council is approving payment for the following business owner. It's a refund on $300 for mechanical amusement permit for 3 machines that is not located within the City of Uniontown. Councilman Billy?
Yes.
Councilman Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Winfrey?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to accept the resignation of Caleb Morningstar from the Uniontown Police Department effective October 12th, 2025. Councilman Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Winfrey?
Yes.
Councilman Billy?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to accept the resignation of Zachary Brunel from the Uniontown Police Department effective October 12th, 2025. Councilman Winfrey?
Yes.
Councilman Billy?
Yes.
Councilman Thomas?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to approve to hire Joshua Dubois as a full-time public safety aide at $13.63 per hour effective immediately. Councilman Billy?
Yes.
Councilman Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Winfrey?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to accept the resignation of Leroy Townsend from the Uniontown Parks and Recreation Board effective October 5th, 2025. Councilman Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Winfrey?
Yes.
Councilman Billy?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to introduce Bill number 1790, which would become ordinance number 1770, an ordinance of the City of Uniontown, Fayette County, Pennsylvania, prohibiting certain types of camping and related activities and regulating camping and related activities within the city, setting forth penalties for violation, repealing all inconsistent ordinances, and providing an effective date. Councilman Winfrey?
Yes.
Councilman Billy?
Yes.
Councilman Thomas?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to approve the City of Uniontown Treats on the Trail event at Bailey Park on October 31st, 2025 from 5 o'clock p.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. Councilman Billy?
Yes.
Councilman Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Winfrey?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to approve the Oak Pizza fundraiser event for 10% of total sales to be donated to the Uniontown Parks and Recreation Day Program for 2026. Councilman Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Winfrey,
Yes.
Councilman Billy,
Yes.
Mayor Gurke.
Yes.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to approve an agreement between the Uniontown Police Department and Technology Enterprise Group Incorporated to provide the Pennsylvania Commonwealth's Law Enforcement Network program subscription known as CLEAN at a cost of $0 for a period of 6 months. Such subscription provides access to driver's license and motor vehicle information, state criminal history record information, with a host of other services maintained in the Pennsylvania State Police Central Repository through the Mobile Architecture for Communications Handling software. Councilman Winfrey,
Yes.
Councilman Billy,
Yes.
Councilman Thomas.
Yes.
Mayor Gurke.
Yes.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown that based on the recommendation of the plan actuary, the allocation of the $479,928.16 state aid for the City of Uniontown's police and fire pension plans be distributed as follows. Police pension plan, total of $359,946.12. Fire pension plan, total of $119,982.04. Councilman Billy,
Yes.
Councilman Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Winfrey,
Yes.
Mayor Gurke.
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown that council accept the quote from Pine Hall Mechanical for $8,000 for heating and air ventilation repairs to the City Hall Municipal Building. Councilman Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Winfrey,
Yes.
Councilman Billy,
Yes.
Mayor Gurke.
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to enter into an economic development cooperation agreement with the City of Uniontown Redevelopment Authority to complete the final closeouts of the Strategic Management Plan, Municipal Assistance Plan, Commonwealth Financial Authority, and local share account grants for a total of $6,000. Councilman Winfrey,
Yes.
Councilman Billy,
Yes.
Councilman Thomas.
Yes.
Mayor Gurke.
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to approve to hire Presley Kitis, apologize if I mispronounced that, as full-time licensed clerk at $15.70 per hour, effective October 6th, 2025, with full health and welfare benefits pending successful completion of a 90-day probationary period. Councilman Billy,
Yes.
Councilman Thomas.
Yes.
Councilman Winfrey.
Yes.
Mayor Gurke.
Yes.
Yeah. The next motion is be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to approve the 2024 audit report of McLaurin Wolf CPAs. And I will turn it over to Councilman Billy as Director of Accounts and Finance.
So when I came on council in '22, we were a few years back on audits, and that was due to a forensic audit that was done in the treasurer's office. So we, and after the findings and everything had worked out, we had 3 years worth of audits that we've had to clean up and so we can get back on schedule. So where we are at today is we're introducing or accepting the 2024, December 31st, 2024 citywide audit. And this will get us right back into schedule where we're at, and then next year we will continue to go. So I've heard some things out in the public, and when these audits, the city was back on the audits, and that was because of the forensic. And just to clear that up is the reason that our independent auditor, the McLaurin Wolf firm, the reason that they were not able to perform these audits is because they were not able, that none of the documents existed. They were all wrapped up with the Attorney General's office. So that's kind of shine a little light on that, to bring that back up into the spotlight. So we're looking really good. We have some areas, and we did have 2 findings. One of the findings that was in the treasurer's office, and we're continuing to work through that. And a lot of the issues that were going on in the treasurer's office kind of carried over after into the new, and it's not directly any fault of the new treasurer. It was just kind of a backlog of things that we're doing and actually working through those. And the findings do not indicate any missing funds. So just to, to put that, there as well. So, but to get into the audit, so really, really very important thing. And so in these findings, we've seen that we're going to have to, in the future here in the next couple of months, you're going to see some RFPs, requests for proposals, for a couple, different areas that handle some outside accounting for us. So the important thing to note is the general fund, December 31st, 2024, the total fund balances were $2,634,817. And from 2023, that we were able to add another $54,000 on to that fund balance. And I know that $54,000 seems really small, but and that just goes to show you how close these budgets are, how close we are in, and again, for council's note and also the city, right now, a contract that has expired. We are getting into another contract that we'll have to be negotiating, and also in the end of next year, we also have another contract. So currently, right now, where we're at is we're in the midst of 3 contract negotiations, and we're trying to future forecast what those increases will be. So, that again, that's kind of my plug to get the ball rolling. Another important area, we always talk about, and we'll talk about today too, and we really don't really touch about what our expenditures are in this area, but in the sewage fund, we always talk about what we bring in, but we never talk about what we're actually spending. And, so very important going forward for any future projects that we're looking to get into. We have right now low matching funds. So we got to not worry, but we have to really focus on the types of grants we're getting and what the actual amount is. And then, Mr. Podlinski, we can go further and discuss on that for yourself for any future. I think to get into really I apologize here. I think it's really important to put out there what actually goes on, and it's important to also be recognized for the good things that happen, but also touch base on, the not so good things. And also, it's very important too, when we're doing this, to also recognize that the fact that in these findings, that as a city, we take immediate steps to try to rectify the issues and try to move forward. So, and that's a really important thing when you come to these audits and these findings, is to actually have a plan in place to go forward with. So, that I'm proud of. I'm disappointed, personally. I'm disappointed in some of the areas, but it's important of how we move forward with it. Just a few more minutes, I'm sorry. So one of the findings is 2024-001 is a bank account reconciliation procedures. So this in the criteria that's, there was found to be material weakness in reconciling those funds. And we've made the steps already in with, working it with our department and the Accounts and Finances Department overseeing those daily reconciles of the treasurer's office. So that's just another area where, just to show example, where we work well together in the departments. And even whenever you can have things happen in the city and then still show that you can move forward. So, well, I think it's just important. We'll just read the whole finding. This is open for the public once it's made, once we vote on it. So this document can be procured. The criteria: the management is responsible for designing, implementing, establishing, and maintaining effective internal controls relevant to the preparation and fair presentation of financial statements that are free from material misstatement, whether due to fraud or error. This includes evaluating and monitoring the ongoing activities to help ensure that the appropriate goals and objectives are met, laws and regulations are followed, and that the management and financial information is reliable and reliable and properly prepared. Management should ensure that the controls are in place to achieve all appropriate financial statements, assertions, including occurrence, completeness, accuracy, cutoff, and classification. Adhere to these criteria, ensure that the financial information relied upon by council is complete and accurate. The condition to this finding: during the course of the procedures, we noted improvement in the city's bank reconciliation process compared to the prior year. Most cash accounts were reconciled timely and agreed to the general ledger. However, we identify the following exceptions. Several reconciled bank balances did not agree with the ledger and trial balance. Another was the bank reconciliation for certain accounts were not performed timely within the month at the end of the previous month. Some accounts were not reconciled for 6 months. The cause: while the city has strengthened its reconciliation process and timeliness compared to the prior year, limited follow-up review procedures continue to result in some reconciling differences not being fully resolved and a few accounts not being completed on time. The effect of this finding: although the overall accuracy in reporting cash balance has improved, unreconciled differences and untimely reconciliations in several accounts may still cause interim financial reports provided to the council to be incomplete and inaccurate, and asserting that the city's financial position. And that's why it's really important that the following year we make sure we get these timely audits done so we know where we're at on schedule. The recommendation for this finding: management should continue to build on improvements already made by ensuring that all bank accounts are reconciled timely each month, that reconciling items and reviewed are cleared promptly. Periodic management and council oversight of this process should continue to strengthen assurance to cash balances and properly stated. The views of responsible officials and corrective action. The city acknowledges these findings, and a corrective action plan to address these findings has been developed and is included in the annual report. Non-compliance, this is the second finding, and this is very important to note on this finding that we have quickly moved in the direction to try to rectify this issue, and so it's very important to note on that. This is the recommendation, non-compliance 2024-002, non-compliance with the ARPA reporting requirements. The criteria: the U.S. Department of Treasurer's compliance and reporting guidance for the coronavirus state and local fiscal recovery funds, also known as ARPA, requires recipients to file accurate and complete project and expenditure reports. Governments must ensure that the project expenditures report on completed project reflect actual use of the funds and align with the approved project purposes. The condition to this finding is the government filled its ARPA project and expenditure annual report with the treasurer and incorrectly reported complete use of allocated funds for a particular project. The portion of this funds remained unspent as of December 31st, 2024, while others were applied to the different project activities. The cause of this finding. The error in the reporting process resulted from the turnover in the physical department. Internal controls over the reconciliation of the ARPA expenditure in the general ledger and project records were not accurately applied. The effect of this finding. The incorrect filing results in the non-compliance with the treasurer's ARPA reporting requirements. This exposure for the government to potentially treasure follow-up. Request for a correction and/or limitations on the ability to repurpose unspent funds. Inaccurate reporting also reduces the transparency and accountability to the citizens' overall bodies regarding actual use of the federal funds. This is a recommendation of this finding. We recommend that the management correct the project allocation during the December 31st, 2025 project and expenditure annual report that is due in 2026. To report the grant proceeds spent in accordance with the project funds actually expended. We also recommend that management strengthen the internal controls over ARPA reporting, including documented review and reconciliation procedures to ensure expenditures reported to the treasurer agree with the accounting records and project level allocations. The views of the responsibility of officials and the corrective action. And the City Council acknowledges this finding, and the corrective action plan addresses the finding, has been developed and is included in this annual report. So in response to this finding, non-compliance with the ARPA reporting requirements, whereas the City of Uniontown and Council Finance Department has recognized the error in reporting process which resulted during the turnover of the fiscal department. The Council Finance Department has begun to address this issue of the incorrect filing by contacting the Treasurer's Department and request to reopen the expenditure report to allow for the corrections of the project status and all allocation of the funds. So, this is an area that, something that I'm not happy with. And I think it could go to say with anybody that is not an area to be happy with. I think the most important thing is that the step that the city is already taking to make sure that we can rectify that issue. Is there anything that you want to add to that?
No, I mean, it is, first of all, it's not uncommon for a municipality to have any findings in an audit in particular. They're largely technical findings, but they are being addressed.
Yes.
So those will be improved upon. Do you want to speak to the debt situation too, along with the position? I think that's helpful for.
So like that. I got everything mixed up. So to talk about the debt end, and we can go back, and it was a conversation, very lengthy conversation with the auditor firm in our audit committee meeting, and to touch base on in the early 2000s the level of debt that the city has, and over the years of being able to pay it down, and being in that position. And we're looking, the city was just in about $2 million debt area right there. I don't want to speak out.
Or that not, let me get in my notes. So getting into total, so getting into the guaranteed revenue note from the storm sewer improvement. A lot of these a lot of this debt, Penvest loans for infrastructure, very low interest rates on those, so that was a very good thing. So 2025, we have a principal of $58,620 with an interest of $5,546. 2026, the principal balance will be $59,210. Interest on that is $4,956. 2027, $59,805. And interest is be $4,361. 2028. Principal balance $60,406 with an interest of $3,760. 2029, $61,012 for the principal, interest $3,154. 2030 to 2034, we have a principal balance of $282,231 with an interest of $38,597, gives us a total debt of $581,284 with a total interest of $60,374. So this was 2003, January. The city entered into an agreement with the Pennsylvania Infrastructure Investment Authority to borrow a principal sum of $4,671,000. This is where I was talking about the low interest. It's a 1% interest on a 30-year note, and on this we have a total principal balance left at $1,604,848 through the long-term portion. For the long-term portion, we're looking at $1,441,502. 2016 May, the city entered into an agreement with the Pennsylvania Infrastructure Investment Authority to borrow a principal sum of $325,015. That was a 12-year term, 1%. We have a total debt balance of $184,946. Interest on that is $32,924. 2022 Ram truck. The city, in September of 22, the city obtained a financing through First National Bank for the purchase of a 2022 Ram truck. The loan totaled $58,754 at a 4.38% interest rate at a 3-year period. We are currently at $15,430 for the principal and $286 for the interest. Following is a summary of a revenue bond and note debt activity for the December 31st, 2024 year. And that is going through the revenue bonds and notes. We have a Penvest storm sewer, $639,322.
The Penvest sanitary sewer was the $1,766,570. The Penvest interceptor was the $203,094. That Ram truck was $35,217. Gave us the total liability of $2,644,203. And then we start getting into capital leasing liabilities, which is so it was for the street sweeper in the amount of $141,153. That was a 5.868 interest, and the annual payments of the principal and interest of $32,244 extend over the 5 years, ending in February, October. It'll be ending in October of 2027. That'll be a total of the $59,117. We have capital lease obligations for a mini excavator, 2022 street sweeper. So the mini excavator, $13,138. The street sweeper, $111,731. So we have the total debt left on that of $124,869. So that kind of, it's a lot of numbers. This document is able to be, requested. So for further, review. Really good information. It's a lot, 70 pages, so it gets really deep. Probably a lot deeper than what we have time for. But very interested in going back and forth and answering any questions at a later date if anybody has after review. Especially any of the candidates that are out there, and if you want any accurate information on some talking points, that would be a good thing to review that. I'm ready to vote. Thank you. Sorry about being long-winded.
We'll proceed with the vote on the approval of the 2024 audit report of McClure and Wolf CPAs. Councilman Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Winfrey,
Yes.
Councilman Billy,
Yes.
Mayor Gerke.
Yes.
And those are all of the regular resolutions we have for tonight. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. It's time now for the department reports. Ms. Simmons, Redevelopment Authority.
Good evening, Council.
Good evening.
So I laid the reports up for you if you'd like to follow along. The first item, I just wanted to touch base. Throughout the past 2 months, we began conversations with Fay Penn Economic Development, the Certified Economic Development Organization for Fayette County. Wanting to work with Fay Penn to help grow Uniontown, and as a result of that, conversations continued, and so Fay Penn did offer a position as the Director of Grants, which I accepted. The best part of this is that Fay Penn is willing to work with the City of Uniontown, the Uniontown Downtown Business District Authority, and the Redevelopment Authority to allow my position to actually continue in Uniontown 30% of my time. So 70% of my time I will work towards Fay Penn's initiative, and 30% of my time I'll work towards Uniontown's initiatives. And some of them are the same. Some of them are the same initiatives. So I'm glad that the city is willing to consider a memorandum of understanding. We hope that we can look at that in January. Thank you for approving the cooperation agreement so I can work through the open grants. And I look forward to splitting my time 10% among each one of those entities throughout this year, revisit that relationship next year, and see where we go from there. So that's the MOU. So for the CDBG program, the 2015, 16, 17 monitoring that's been going on for quite some time, I did get word back from DCED. They had requested a few other documents. It sounds like that's wrapping up, but I still do not have a final decision on that monitoring. In the meantime, though, they conducted a fair housing monitoring that is complete, and we've heard back, and there was no findings. The 2025 public hearing was held on September 23rd at 6 o'clock. Those applications will be submitted at the end of October. I wasn't able to make this agenda, but we will be making a formal motion to select the project for this year's application in November, but the application does go in October 31st. The application will be submitted as follows. Marshall Park Rehabilitation for Marshall Park Rehabilitation, Code Enforcement, and Blight Demolition. And on the back of your agendas, you can see the breakout for the funding. Marshall Park is $132,458. Code Enforcement, $45,000. Blight Demolition, $76,053. And there's $55,648 of administration fees, totaling the $309,159. And that is how the 2025 application will be submitted this year. When we hold these public meetings, we hold a public meeting in May, we hold a public meeting in October, and we receive project requests, and we get some great project requests that need some extra guidance. So we put together a 3-year community development plan, which reviews the needs of Uniontown, the goals of Uniontown, and then we choose the next 3 years projects, which I say choose, but we just position them. It's not a commitment of funds. This just positions them to where the redevelopment authority can work with them over the next few years, get their projects strong, and maybe find other funding along the way. Those projects consist of 2027 Love Fayette Community Center. This is a project that would rehab the old fire station. 2028 Calvary United Methodist Playground. This would be a second phase of the playground in East End, which would install bathrooms. Preliminary design still underway. So again, we have a couple years to do that. And then 2029 State Theater External Rehabilitation. Again, that one's in 2029. We'll have to have more conversations with State Theater as we're moving forward, and hopefully all these new relationships that we're making, that we can actually be some resources for these entities that need grants. As I mentioned, the quick glance review sheet is on the back of your agenda. That's available to the public at any time. The progress of the grants currently that the city is funding. State Theater External Rehabilitation, that's a project underway. The one I mentioned earlier would be a second phase. The the State Historic Preservation Office has yet to come back with the final determinations on that project. They have 30 days to comment, so we're in that comment period. As soon as they do, we'll be able to move forward with the rehab on the Union Trust building. Calvary United Methodist Playground, that project is underway. Equipment's been ordered, will be installed by the end of December, and there'll be a spring event sometime in April to kick off that playground. Pretty excited about that part. The blight demolition projects, all evaluations and all reviews are complete, and now the bid specifications are under review. Just talked with Jim Marmel with K2 today. We hope that we can wrap some of this up tomorrow, get it advertised next week, and then those demolitions would happen towards the end of November. Code enforcement, we're preparing the project payment request number 1 for the salary reimbursement to the city. So that should be submitted sometime next week. I'll be submitting that quarterly unless the city would like it submitted a different way. Marshall Park is a proposed multi-year project. As mentioned, we'll be submitting Marshall Park for 2025 funding. We already have funding available in the CDBG program. However, you cannot move forward with the project in CDBG land without having all funding in hand. So that means that we put this funding together and we'll bid it in the spring of 2026. So we're working on the preliminary estimates. Before I move off CDBG, I did fail to mention, my transition will leave certain things, 10% of my time for the redevelopment authority is a small amount of time. So the CDBG program will transfer to Natasha Balazic. She's the program manager. We're looking at her to be the program director. She is very capable. She is very thorough, and you're really lucky to have her. And it makes me more comfortable because I know that she'll make sure those programs are run ship shape. The city cooperation agreement, the comprehensive plan, is under review at the Planning Commission. That'll be October 8th. There's going to be a 45-day comment period, and then November 22nd, the Planning Commission will re-meet, and then it'll be presented to the city around that time, where January 8th would be your meeting where you would adopt the comprehensive plan. I'm still awaiting the first part of the comprehensive plan. I need a Word document from Gibson Thomas. We've paid for that. The city has paid for that. It's your document. I'm just trying to get that from Gibson Thomas right now. And we're holding back $10,000 for the completion of that plan, which the district and authority will be covering. The strategic management plan, we have the second invoice. Like I said, the co-op was approved today. I'll move forward and continue to manage that project and get that reimbursement over to the city. No updates on sewage transportation. The fair project, we're reviewing those properties for Winona Street. There's one of the properties on the repository, and we hope to move forward. You probably definitely know which house it is. It's in need of being removed out of the street. So we finally can take ownership of that and get that taken care of. The existing owner-occupied housing rehabilitation, the home program, it's called URAP, another program Natasha will be taking over. Home Tier 2 environmental reviews are complete, and we are to the point where we can incur costs. K2 will be going out to around 6 structures, residential structures, providing a punch list, and rehabbing, preparing to do bid specifications, oversee construction oversight, and we'll have 6 people's houses that are going to be in compliance. So that's our first step to be proactive, so we're not just tearing houses down all the time, but rehabbing them as well. USDA is another program that we're doing that with. Natasha has spearheaded that, and unfortunately, because of the shutdown, it is on hold, and the shutdown has also stopped us with some other funding that we were hoping to see. So we'll see how that goes. Our property sales are, I know I keep saying they're ready to market. We had to do some photo updates. We had to update some cases in iWork, so we're there, we're ready to launch it. The landlord registration, we had one of the most productive landlord meetings September 23rd. The previous president of the Southwestern Pennsylvania Landlord Association attended, very knowledgeable. His input was very, very good, on point. It caused me to reflect on some of the things we're doing with the program. It caused me to pull the Blight Owners and Occupants Responsibility Ordinance that was passed in 2009. I think that ordinance needs to come back to surface and needs to be reviewed under that program. We've also discussed a potential landlord buyer program, which would allow us to use the funding collected from that to somehow assist the landlords with costs that they incur, like maybe roll-off dumpsters. So that's a conversation we'll keep having at these quarterly meetings. And then in December, I would like to have the landlord licensing revenue review. And what that will do is set up the funding in a sheet that is available to anyone that asks to see what funding we've collected, what we're using the funding for, how we propose to use the funding, so then we can ensure that this isn't the fees are not disproportionate to what we are offering in the program. But it is only 1 year in, so a lot of it's proposed at this point. So we look forward to having that available in December. For any landlords that would like to see how that funding is being used and what we're proposing, we're completely transparent. It's here to assist landlords. That's why we're doing it. We're not doing it to fill the bank. It's not filling the bank. We're doing it to assist Uniontown in improving the units that are rental. Over 70% of the units in Uniontown are rental units. Story Square, we had an I thought it was exceptional. September 11th event. I want to thank the fire chief and police chief. That event was really nice. We were able to put people together. WVU sponsored it, and it turned out really great. I hope that we can extend the concerts next year and do that again, but I guess we'll see what the authority does. The next RDA meeting is October 15th at 4 p.m. So any comments on the redevelopment authority? I have one more report if not. Okay, just a quick update on the downtown business district. Joey just asked me to read this if he didn't make it, so he's not made it. We have some board appointments that's coming up for next month's meeting. The Main Street Matters grant was submitted, and the program manager did come back and say that they would accept a waiver for match. So it's looking good so far. It's pretty competitive, so we're hoping to have that. The scenic byway designation, the Planning Commission approved that. I didn't make it to get it on this meeting. Some things have been kind of upside down, so I didn't get on this meeting. It'll go on next meeting. That's the Main Street and Beeson designation. We held our business committee they held their business committee meeting on September 18th at Vito's Tea House. I want to thank Amy for helping coordinate that, and we look forward to holding next meeting October 16th. We're looking at any other areas that would like to sponsor the event, but we also had some conversation of maybe having it there again. And you have an agenda there with what we're working on. No updates on that to this point. We're just continuing to put together the annual report and other documentation so that the city can have that in December. No questions? All right, I'm sorry I have to run. I have open house. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Crystal, as always. Code enforcement, Jamie?
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, Chief, and the public. The 3 C's of code enforcement are caring, consistency, and compliance. So let's get down to business. I posted 29 sewage notices between the last council meeting and today. I added approximately 25 new properties. I went around and looked to see vacant buildings, blight, and I'm compiling all of that to see what I can do, because a lot of property is owned by people that are not in Fayette County. So it's very hard for me to find some people. So I've been working diligently on that aspect. I have a 75% compliance rate right now. And I appreciate everyone who has a piece of property that has been cooperative and compliant. I need that percentage to go up. Plain and simple. We need to clean Uniontown up. Grass cutting is not over. Although it may be fall, it's not over. Please have your grass cut. Please make sure all garbage is in trash bags and placed in the right place on the trash day. Thank you for everyone who came out to clean up Uniontown on Saturday. And I have a big shout out to William, a resident of this town. Thank you. Uniontown, Pennsylvania follows the Pennsylvania Crimes Code, which makes it illegal to attach signs or other objects to utility poles. This is also a common safety regulation enforced by utility companies and the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation. The state law prohibits signs on utility poles. Under 18 PA CSA Crimes and Offenses 6905, it is a summary offense to drive a nail, tack, or attach any metal or hard substance into any utility pole. Safety concerns. Utility companies like PPL Electric and Duquesne Light emphasize that posting signs on utility poles is a safety hazard. Nails, staples, and tacks can injure workers who climb the poles. Fasteners can tear the protective rubber equipment that linemen use to guard against electrical shock. Signs can hide important identifying markers on poles, which slows down response times during power outages and emergencies. Restrictions on signs in right-of-way. In addition to the ban on placing objects on the poles themselves, state law also prohibits private signs within the highway right-of-way, which includes the area around utility poles. According to PennDOT, only official traffic signs are permitted in the right-of-way. Unauthorized signs can be a distraction to motorists and create a safety hazard. Does anyone have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie, for all your hard work. Public Works, Mr. Podolinsky.
Yes, hi, good evening, everyone. I'll just start out here with the total monthly sewage collection. This month, the sewage collection was $225,602.94, bringing this year-to-date total to $1,983,498.94. Also, the ladies in the office there, Alyssa and Deb, have been working diligently on trying to claim our unclaimed revenue here, and they have just recently started trying to collect the 60-day past due sewage bills, and they have been able to collect so far $83,670 out of the $387,000 and some odd dollars that is owed. I think that's a great feat for them, and hopefully they can continue to collect on the delinquent sewage bills, and as they go back through the other billing, hopefully we can get some of our revenue that's deserved to the city. For the sewage department, the sewage guys maintain the compost site, and recently the DEP has been down there and we had a couple small issues to clean up, and they've been working diligently. And if anybody has been by the compost site over the past month, if you came and looked at it today, it would look like a different site with it's organized and it's pretty cleansly compared to what it was, just some unneeded debris there and some well-needed maintenance to the site. For the sewage, we continue to clean and maintain the sewage lines to the best of our ability. Sometimes there's a backup and some residents aren't happy, but we're always quick to show up and resolve the issue for them. The street department here, they've been out attacking potholes still. We're going to keep attacking them with asphalt here as long as they're still making it, to try to get a more permanent fix. Hopefully next year we can fit into the budget some paving for streets, as I know there's a handful that are in poor condition that would greatly need some attention. The street department will soon be suiting up the plow trucks here and going through them and putting them through the routine to make sure they're ready for winter here. And hopefully we don't have any unforeseen issues with the trucks going forward here. Other than that, that's all I have. If no one has any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Fire Department, Chief Kahn.
Okay, as I always start out our monthly report, overview of our incidents. These are for the month of September 2025. 13 fire-related incidents. These included 4 kitchen fires confined to the stovetop area, 2 excessive heat and scorch burn incidents, 5 smoke conditions where the fire failed to ignite, and 2 trash fires. So there again, as I always say, a lot of close calls. 27 rescue-related incidents. These included 18 motor vehicle collisions. 7 of those had injuries. 1 vehicle versus pedestrian accident. 3 lockout or gain access for EMS crews. And 4 extrications of an ill or injured person from a building where we were assisting EMS. We had 5 hazardous condition incidents. This included 1 toxic fumes incident, 2 natural gas leaks, 1 short circuit electrical equipment, and 1 power line down. Had 7 service related incidents, and these included 2 persons in distress, 3 lockouts, 2 general public service details. Ran 18 fire alarm activations. Crews also did 3 witnessed fire drills in public facilities, and as I always say, included building familiarization, pre-incident planning for our crews, and we did fire prevention training for the facilities staff. Moving on to training conducted or taken by personnel for the month. Pretty good numbers again. The department had over 98 man-hours of training for the month of September. Just highlighting some special training, as we always do, conducted or taken by personnel for the month. Chief Kahn, which is myself, attended a lithium-ion battery fire tactics class held over the week in the Pittsburgh area. A couple apparatus updates. Unfortunately, we had the air brakes lock up on our ladder truck on a Sunday, nonetheless. It was a cylinder and valve that needed replaced. It was the original, so no crime in that, but unfortunately an emergency repair was needed. Our engine number 4 is due for Pennsylvania State Vehicle Inspection this month. And then just a couple of miscellaneous items. With National Fire Prevention Week being held annually across the U.S. in October, crews will be especially busy with fire prevention programs. As I always say, our crews, we do fire prevention all throughout the year. And we take a lot of pride in that. I think it's very important. If you can prevent a fire from happening in the first place, that just makes everybody that much safer. But anyway, if you have an organization or a facility that would be interested in conducting one of these programs, please call the Central Fire Station. The number there is 724-438-6900 for more information. And then finally, as I always remind every month, bingo is being conducted tonight over at Social Hall. Doors are open now, and the games start at 6:45. So that's it. Thank
Chief,
you.
coming up here, I'd like to have you look into some information, grant information, or actual cost for any type of equipment dealing with those lithium ions.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
And the reason I say that is, for when councilman and myself get together for later this month and talk the budget. Mm-hmm. That'd be something I'd like to make sure that we have if we have match grants or something that we could put in that area. I'd like to really
Pursue that.
Yeah, start to investing in that type of equipment so that we're
It's going to be an ongoing. I don't want to say issue, but for lack of a better term, issue. You're going to see more and more of these incidents all the time. So it'd be a good
touch
thing.
on another base. I happened to listen to one of the calls, and it was at the Mount Vernon Tower, and it was a fire on the 6th floor.
Yes.
That was near the elevator.
Mm-hmm.
So, can you describe the difficulty of getting to the 6th floor? Just briefly, just to kind of paint that
Yeah,
picture
sure, not a problem. We being a combination system, we're arriving initially with 3 guys, and in the first couple minutes before other crews, mutual aid, volunteers, off-duty paid staff, whatever starts arriving, you're humping. You're humping big time. And getting hose deployed into 6-8 floors up, if it's a little lower, you may or may not be able to stretch into a side entrance and up the stairwell. But when you're getting up that high, you're talking about deploying hose packs, going up to the fire floor. Somebody's going to have to stay on the outside, establish water from a fire hydrant, hook into the connection on the side of the building, boost that supply. After that, and then one of my primary jobs is to take control of the lobby, silence the alarm, determine where the alarm's going off, get master keys for the personnel going up, establish my staging area for crews that are coming in. So there's a lot of work to it.
How
and
is
that
our
just kind of paints a small picture. No, that's okay. Go ahead. Yeah.
How is our response with the volunteers?
I mean, they do good when they can. You know what I mean? It's in Pennsylvania, and it's a sobering statistic. You look back in the 70s, 350,000 active volunteers. You're under 35,000 statewide. And there's not a single department in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania that is either a combination or fully volunteer that's not feeling the pain. I mean, I give our guys a lot of credit. They do what they can when they can. You don't have the numbers that you used to, and it's not just us, it's everywhere.
What kind of support did they provide that day?
Once they get there, they're ready to go to work. I mean, they're assembling in the staging area. They're getting the equipment ready, waiting for. I was not on that incident, but they're waiting for whoever command is to assign their duties. They don't just go up to work freelance. That includes our off-duty paid staff or whoever, mutual aid coming in, whatever the case may be. One thing, whenever, and I'm a real stickler for this, not saying that other administrations weren't, but I'm very, very stickler for this, that our crews don't freelance. We have to stick with an incident action plan, with a game plan, and that has to be consistent with whoever's running that fire that particular day. But they do well. But back to answer your question, they're assembling, equipment off the engines and off the trucks, getting their breathing apparatus, getting everything ready, standing there waiting for an assignment, ready to go to work. So, yeah, like I said, it's very manpower intensive. I remember one time I was in a class at the National Fire Academy. It's actually a class I'm accredited to teach, ironically. And you start talking about the number of people you should have on your first alarm, first arriving personnel on a high-rise fire. And I'm sitting there with a friend of mine. He's the chief in Pittsburgh, and he said, I don't even, on my first alarm, I got to call a second alarm. And he said, what about you? And he knows my situation. I said, man, not even close. But
so you guys have like several incidents a year now where it's out.
Our high-rise incidents are growing.
Yeah.
They are growing for whatever reason. So yeah, but
is there anything different about that building that you think you're getting more fires there, more incidents there than you are somewhere else?
not really. It's rolling the dice, to be honest with you. And I mean, anything can happen at any given time, so, but, yeah, kudos to our personnel, the paid men and the volunteers, they do a really good job, so we do good with a skeleton crew, so, but believe me, sometimes we are a skeleton crew though, so, we do what we can. So, but yeah, but thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Hopefully that shed a little bit
Yes,
of
yeah, absolutely.
light that,
and also just,
what we're against.
To also at the same time, and the reason I bring those type of questions is to also, show the importance of what the volunteers, the support staff that the volunteers provide to the company.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And that it's historical. There's 3 separate, companies in the city of Uniontown for volunteers, and the pride that should be taken with the citizenry to, as that, for those volunteers. But thank you so much.
Sure, and that's like I always say, you think of a hub and all the spokes, and everybody is the spoke, and we wouldn't be able to do it, in either direction if we were just strictly our paid guys, or if we did not have paid guys, what I mean? So both entities are vital, absolutely. If we didn't have either, it would crumble. So
Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
Thanks, Chief.
Yep.
Next, police. Chief DeWitt's a little hoarse tonight, so I'm going to read the chief's report. During the month of August, the Uniontown Police Department responded to 748 calls for service. A breakdown of some of those calls included 17 vehicle accidents, 7 assaults, 3 frauds, 21 welfare checks, 34 domestics, 2 assist fire calls, 11 disorderly conducts, 7 warrant services, 23 emergency medical assists, 20 assist other police, 18 harassments, 1 shot fired, 18 alarms, 24 thefts, 2 public intoxications, 1 sexual assault, 11 unwarranted persons, 66 suspicious persons, activities, vehicles, and 4 burglaries. Officers made a total of 52 criminal arrests, issued 36 non-traffic citations, and 42 traffic citations. Officers conducted vehicle and foot patrols of the city's parks, as well as the Sheepskin Trail. Submitted by Delbert J. DeWitt, our chief. Thank you. At this time, it's a time for public comment. If you'd limit your time to 3 minutes to be respectful of other people's time, and whenever you address the public, go up to the podium, state your name and your address. So do we have any public comment this evening? Yes, sir.
My name is Charles Cuppet, and I live at 12 North Emerson Street in the city of Uniontown. The other day, I looked over at the property next to Ben Franklin School where prior a Dollar General was intending to build and go into that property. It was being staked out by a surveyor for Larson Development Group, and it was for the project of Dollar General going in on that property. So my question today is, since the last time I was here and seeing the surveyor, the city of Uniontown was sued by Dollar General, and I think Larson Group represented them. And when I read the lawsuit down in the courthouse, at that time, there was no resolution to the lawsuit then. Obviously, there is a resolution now because the project is continuing. So my question would be, and I'll use Mr. Billy's phrase, about City Council put a little light on, a little shine of light on what the resolution was, and did it involve any tax moratoriums to be given to Dollar General? And we'll go from there. My opposition to that business going in next to the school has never changed. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure in the future I'll be here concerning the traffic, the water, rain runoff, which floods a good area up there, and the school zone and the signal light. This has been going on 2 years, does not work. And it's a speed problem because I also see the Uniontown City Police tucked in to the school property behind vegetation, monitoring the traffic that comes down from the top of Morgantown Street, always over the speed limit. And with that, I'd like to hear from City Council what my tax dollars are going to pay for from this loss.
So
I just paid my taxes, almost $3,000.
So to answer the question about the abatement, so as of right now, the city has an expired local economic revitalization tax abatement program, which is LERTA. And that is something that I cannot personally bring to council, but it's something that I strongly suggest to council. And what that is for is it's for economic growth. And yes, a new building value or a structure that is renovated over 60% would qualify for this abatement program. It's 5 years, and it's only on the improvement of the structure. So to answer that question, no. The city did not make any concessions as far as any abatement. So if it comes to completion, and at that moment that it does come to completion, so we would be looking at a revenue increasing So, no, there are no tax dollars, none of our money is going to support any building projects for that group. And I think that I speak not only, I believe wholeheartedly that I speak for everybody on council for this. None of us want to see it happen in the location that it is. And we've had numerous conversations of where the perfect spot actually would be for this. But then, it gets into the fact, and, in speaking, with Mrs. Miller in the very beginning of that, wanting to know what the city can do, what the citizens can do. And, and saying, well, the very first step is we have got to get a petition. You got to get strength is in numbers. And the sad thing really, and it is extremely frustrating too, because one, in this country, unless there are restrictions put by deed on a parcel outside of what the zoning is, I mean, you rightfully cannot, limit unless you already put those preconditions on. With that being said, that still doesn't change my point of view on it, or my opinion on it. But I have to consciously, always, in my position, is think about the finances, the bottom line, the bottom line, the bottom line, always. Selfishly, think about the bottom line of the finances of the city. And I look at it, and when I say selfishly, that's for all of us. That truly is for all of us, because every little bit, we had that millage rate increase, and you heard through the audit that we've only added 54,000 to the general from over the 1 year. So it tells you how tight it is. And with my employment and some people say it's expertise. I don't feel that I'm an expert in any area. But where my knowledge comes in is with growing a tax base and how that is so directly intertwined with the budget and what that is. And, $1 million in value for the city of Uniontown only generates $13,000 burden. So you think about that, like every $1 million that the assessment department can put on only brings back 13 grand for the municipality. And it works out a little differently depending on what the millage rates are, but that's what it is for the city. So I look at that. The reason I say...
Can I ask the attorney, the counsel for the city, what was the resolution, final resolution
So,
to get this project back on track? Obviously, a tax moratorium may not have been part of it, but there's something.
did you want me to continue with that?
Because the last time I was here,
Because I was going to go straight into the let's talk about it. So, and really why I want to talk about this, because ultimately, it's not my decision alone. But when you look at what the future forecast is that we need to run this government, and so we don't have to continue to come back to us, the taxpayers, because, no matter what you say about anybody up here, we pay taxes in one form or another, whether it's rent or it's taxes, because the landlords are not going to be gracious enough to come out of their pocket and pay those taxes. It's worked into the rent. So whenever you say that, oh, it's only property owners, no, it's not. It's also renters too. You know what I mean? And that was part of the rental agreement is upping the quality of life. And I'm getting right there, Charlie.
about that, but mine is what else was in that resolution.
So the thing is there wasn't anything else in it. It got to a point where the city was being sued.
Yes.
And it was, is the city going to dedicate hundreds of thousands of dollars into that? And this budget is that tight. So basically what it comes out to, and this is just the hard truth, and I don't like it, okay? But this is the hard truth of it, is, okay, so you spend a couple $100,000, and what if, on an if, and we're gonna rely, that the person that's deciding it is gonna go in the city's favor. And that's what we're entrusting to put all that money into. And it's my neighborhood too. You know what I mean? I'm up there with you. So I'm invested.
The bottom line is, the city decided not to fight it. Now, what you've opened the door up to now is the other things that we discussed prior, the traffic between people picking up their kids. You're going to have access and egress onto
Yeah.
Morgantown Street.
And
You have one whole car lane, and they're going to block the entrance to a business. And that line goes all the way up to
I
Deck Wireless.
I do not know how
and
that's gonna
turns
work.
And goes on to Judas Street.
Yeah, I do not know how that's going to work. It's an extreme concern for all of us up
How
there.
did that get passed? How did that get, has this been presented?
So you can't stop. You couldn't stop the subdivision, and the subdivision happened. And we did every step. I mean, you guys were right here with us the whole time, you know, with all of these steps, except for when it got to a certain point where there's things that we can't discuss. Once it goes to that level, there's, and as much as I'm extremely vocal.
Pardon me.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying, and I understand it, and I hate to interrupt you, but it's my understanding this is a done deal, ended, the store's being built, the plans are in place, they're getting ready to put a shovel in the ground. So why can't it be discussed now?
That we're discussing it.
No, you're not answering questions, you're
No,
saying simple questions.
Mrs. Miller, I am. I'm giving
You don't
you,
have-
there's not a simple answer to this. It's a very complicated. It's complex because it's evolving. So the thing is yes. Do I like to sit? I'm not going to sit here and spin it for you because it's going to make it more favorable the way you want to feel it. This hurts, okay? I'll tell you right now, it is not good. It's not good for any of us in the neighborhood that we wanted, okay? But that's the thing, is that in that decision, in my position, I can't sit there and think about myself. You know,
I'm not thinking
and
about
I'm not
myself.
saying, but I'm
I
talking about
understand
this.
what you said.
I'm talking about right
Nobody
here
wants to bankrupt
with
the city.
finances,
None
with
of us.
finances. And that's the thing is you can confidently know that the city did everything all the way up to that line, to where now, once we dedicate, we're all in. And
Okay,
you
now
know,
you're gonna have a business up there, and you're gonna have the rain runoff of the property into a system underneath the parking lot.
yeah.
Which should, accept an estimated 50%
Mhm.
of the rain on a typical rainy day. And then, as it fills up, and 50% of it is caught, it's going to be released again. And these storm drains on North Emerson at the bottom, there's two inlets that go down between my property all the way to Union Street. And a few years ago, when we had that hellacious rain one afternoon, those lines, they couldn't carry that water. And I was told then it has to be enlarged. That's going to cost the city money. And if you don't enlarge it, that's going to cost citizens problems. Because I brought in pictures of that deluge where a BMW was caught in a pool of water. The poor guy down on Emerson Street that lives at the lowest part, his whole basement was flooded all the way up to the first floor joist. It was that much water. So it's going to cost you money. We have to come here and remind the city every month that, you know, or just wait till the next freak rain, which someone might say was a 100-year rainfall or 500-year freak rainfall. They're happening more often now. Let's not get into climate change. Oh, that's a taboo subject for some parties. So
You know,
it's
I-
coming. It's coming. It's bottom line is it's coming.
I just hope you understand that, you know, I'm right there with, I'm on Emerson, I'm right there. And, and I understand that the notion of having to keep coming to remind us. I promise you don't have to remind me. I'm there, I see it, I see this traffic, I see the issues.
Our legislative body here is the typical patronizing elected body. If there was a mass shooting, what we're going to get from you is, you have my sincere thoughts and prayers.
See, I think that, Charlie, I think that's unfair
No, it's
objection.
not
I do
fair.
think so, because I sit up here and wholeheartedly try to make the best absolute decisions financially. And you know what? If it's not raining, I can't make it rain. Okay? There are things that we have ability to do, and there's a whole laundry list of things that we can't do. And the misconception is when you run for office, you have some power. You have all of this power when you run for office. You don't have that power. Okay? There are things that you have to do, and you also have got to follow the guidance that you're given as well legally. And I'll tell you, I don't like sitting here telling you that, and I wish that I could actually tell you something that would make you happy, but then I'd be lying to you.
Well,
And I'm not going to do that.
Making sure that, one, that's the worst business model you could put next to a school. We have several in the area, and every one of them has had problems, like robberies, and one person was kicked and beaten at one of the stores.
And we have ordinances in place to follow nuisance buildings and nuisance structures. And that'll be something that as the city, we're all gonna have to deal with.
Well, the one on Mount Vernon should be nuisance, because they're always in there stealing from that one. The one out on Morgan, Gallup Avenue Extension, they got beat up there, basically you're saying there's nothing you can do. But then you come in and
Can I ask you this question, Charlie, then?
And with today's, you think, oh, these things can't happen here. Well, you're wrong.
Anything can happen at any place at any time.
And one way to avoid problems is to be perceptive enough to know. You have a middle school, kindergarten up to 8th grade, and you have a business model that provides candies for the kids, and the only surveillance on that business is inside, nothing outside. So you're going to have an element up there doing dirt. Or we're going to have a police force monitoring the scudge buckets in and out.
I think I think that is a confident answer that you already know with that. I mean, we're already up there in that neighborhood. We're all over the city. I mean,
You're trying to catch speeders coming down the hill, but the 15-mile-an-hour light school zone doesn't work. So what's that catching?
We're enforcing a 35-mile-an-hour speed zone through there.
Yeah,
Hold
35.
on 1 second. The school speed zone is only enforceable during school hours. That light's been inoperable for the last 15 years. If you were here last month, we had a nice lengthy conversation about the school pickup zone, the speed through there, and how we're going to correct those problems and coupling with the school district to remedy those problems. Can't speak for the Dollar General. I don't like when anyone paints any one place or thing with a very broad brush, which you are doing right now. At some point in America, we have to realize we still have a free economy. And when people want to build, they can build, whether we like it or not.
And
Okay.
we still have gun laws that say, cuckoo, go out and
Okay,
buy an automatic rifle,
okay, thank you. Any other public comment? Yes, sir, in the back. Sir, will you take the stand?
Charlie, thank you.
I don't want to drag this on too much. My name is Bernie Park, and I wondered, is Dollar General
considered the Yum Yum Donuts property, which is an eyesore right now. It's a prime location on a corner. It's across, it's, off the same side as the school. So I just, in my mind, I think it might be a good place
Yeah.
to put a store. It's got an alleyway at the back, which would be a nice exit. I just wondered if anybody has mentioned that.
Arnie, that's something that was, that is something that we had attempted. But the problem you have on it is that the timing of this, okay? When Mrs. Miller contacted me about this, the property had already sold, money was already invested. Who's to blame?
I can tell you.
I just think that this is extremely unfortunate. I wish I was able to say exactly what would make everybody feel just dandy about this, but that's not me. I'm not going to do that. Yeah. So to answer your question is yes, the property was already purchased. The large investment was already done. We were told a lot of different things, that if you press the issue, they stuck to the guns. And unfortunately, when you're dealing with something that that they have a lot more capital to deal with than what we do, I will make sure that we have the funds to pay the people in the city to do the services for us. And that's important. And, as much, and it's a double, and when I say this, man, I'm looking at this from two sides, okay? Because here I'm looking at what's best for the people, what's best for investment-wise, financially, and then I flip the hand and put my cap on at the county, and I look and say, I have a really good idea of what that's going to bring in. I know I have a really good idea because of the other structures that I've put on commercially in the county. So I already know, I don't know the exacts, and I can't say what the exacts are going to be, but I already know I have a good idea of what it's going to be. So, and I've already described to you what $1 million brings in, and it's not that much. So we as a city have got to get creative and get these new businesses in. And when I say that, I'm also sitting here saying that I don't want that in our neighborhood, but I cannot control that just because it's something that I want.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other public comment? Amy?
You guys look tired. You guys tired?
Thirsty. Thank you.
Right. Good evening. My name is Amy Hansick. I reside at 24 Robinson Street, and I'm a business owner downtown. I gave you guys an article on homelessness that I wrote that was published in the Herald Standard, and you guys can read that whenever you want. And if you have any suggestions for me as a business owner, just where I'm at. I'm also here tonight as a resident and a community member who is deeply concerned about the direction our city is headed. I will talk about Dollar General briefly. We already have an abundance of them. Just some statistics. Studies show that they often act as a magnet for blight rather than revitalization. These stores are designed for profit extraction, not community investment. Their presence will lower property values and does little to improve the character and safety of our neighborhoods. My main concern is the safety of our children. It's right beside of a school. I know that you guys are just as frustrated as I am with this. I work at the school, so we have a lot of children there, and just the street situation as well, which the chief knows how that is. It's congested as it is. It's just going to be a nightmare. And it just takes away from our children. Our children live there, and they go to school there. And I just, sorry, I just hate to see it take away from them. Also, a parking lot is going on downtown. In our area, we don't have a parking problem downtown. Many will disagree with me on that, but we have a land use problem. Every time we pave over a piece of our community, we give up the chance to build something meaningful, like green space, affordable housing, or small business incubators. Instead of repeating the same old development patterns that have failed so many communities, we should invest in projects that add value and not volume. I do value our city, and I would love to see things get better here. The homelessness situation in our town is also very sad. I have a small business, and I had to close my doors to the public this summer because it just got too scary. So I just wanted to bring that up and bring that to everyone's attention as well. And sorry for getting emotional, but I do love our city, and I just want to see things get better. And I don't want to see our kids and you guys have to live next to a Dollar General. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Amy.
Thanks, Amy. Any other public comment this evening? Okay, Debbie.
Okay, you know what I'm here to talk about, Dollar General. My name's Deborah Miller, and I live at 2 North Emerson Street. And I think regarding this, the safety of it, of course the kids are the most important part. There should be a plan for the pick up and drop off of these kids. That traffic needs rerouted somewhere. There's an alley behind the school. Bring it up through there, around the front, do something to get them off of Morgantown Street. And are there going to be any security cameras operating around the outside of that building? What is the water and sewage? Charlie touched on that. We've heard they're going to raise the level of the land. We know nothing that is going on, and we need to know. Is there anybody from the city who is going to keep them on task and make sure that they build this the way it's supposed to be? Attorney Witt had mentioned to me when I spoke, by email, I believe, that they were being made to make the building more aesthetically pleasing to match the historical mansion, I guess, whatever. But that's all in the eye of the beholder. I just want to know if there is going to be oversight, because frankly, they cannot be trusted. And you know, they need to be watched, what they do from the time they put a shovel in the ground until that door opens for business. Now, the residents' concerns are that, I moved one up. Are they going to consider the residents who do directly live around the school? Is there going to be a smaller Dollar General sign that isn't going to be blaring in people's windows in the evening? How about signs saying no overnight parking and no idling for tractor trailers, because they have a habit. I've done so much research about how they act over the country that I know I'm well versed on this. They will come in, a tractor trailer will pull in there 2 or 3 in the morning, and they don't want to get cold or don't want to get hot. They run their truck, and the people around them get interrupted sleep. That should not be allowed. And how about a fence so people can't cut through our yards to go to that store? That would be a big help. We need to know this. And last but not least, by any means, after this store is in operation and has been there for a short time, I have heard over the course of my fight on this from people I don't even know that had this happen in their area, that, yeah, they put a fence up, and then somebody hit the fence, and it got broke down, and it's falling apart, and they refuse to fix it. And nobody makes them fix it. Are we going to have that happen? So I know these are questions you can't answer tonight. I didn't expect you to. I would like to recommend, though, for the sake of your community that want answers, could you please put together a meeting for this subject? An open meeting for the public to come, and maybe Attorney Witt could speak and just tell us what all you know. That would be so helpful. I mean, none of us want the city to go bankrupt. We understand the money to fight them, their deep pockets. They don't care. They're the evil empire. They don't care. So we understand that, and we know that since they would not give up, it was done. But please, do the best for us that you can. They should have to have a PennDOT. That's a state road. Morgantown Street's a state road. They need PennDOT's approval. How would they get that with that traffic line?
Yeah.
So that's what we need to know. Have they gone through that? Is it all done? We need some answers.
So I can answer a few of those questions right now. So the building permits, the site development plan, the subdivision, all of those plans are available.
Yes, and you expect everybody who wants to know to go. You can't just tell us. You can't just tell us.
Here's the thing. But here's the thing. You know, I'm sitting here telling you that all of that information is available.
Yes, it's available, but what if I go down and I am not a person who has ever had to read schematics of a building? Then I'm going to be going like, I wonder, that's what this is the kind of thing we're talking about. How about thinking of us now instead of just thinking of the bottom line? And I can also answer your question about who to blame. The fault lies way back with you.
With me?
And
Okay,
Phil
I can accept
Michaels.
that. How is that?
And Phil
Yeah.
Michaels. When the I have it. When the chiropractor was applying for a business professional license on the corner of Judith and Morgantown, you and Phil Michaels, well, I think there was unanimous, but you made comments.
So, okay, let me
you
stop
made
you,
a
Debbie,
comment.
because Phil Michael is passed
God,
away.
yeah,
so
the late
to
Phil
bring
Michael.
somebody up and say that myself and someone that
It's
is deceased,
in
we had a
the minutes
conversation.
of the meeting.
I sat on the zoning board at that moment. I was a member of the zoning
Well,
board
you made a comment.
who voted for it
Yes.
and
you
made a
did.
comment.
You made it, but no, but evidently,
I mean,
John
I'll take that fault though. I will own that.
evidently John Over switched it to commercial. And
So I guess that I will admit to take that
you
fault
were
as well.
saying, you just made a comment like, this will be good. I think it'd be really good if the people who are sitting on this board know what's in the MPC rules. Because John Over stood here at the first meeting I came to and said business professional and commercial are the same thing in his mind. Well, that is completely false. Completely. And that's really where the fault belongs.
You know what, I'll
That
take
property had no
take that.
designation, and
I'll
he
take
put
that.
it as commercial.
I'll
It's
take
his fault.
signing up to be a part of a board in the city to try to do the right things in the zoning board. And I'm gonna tell you right now, because I focus on commercial value. So, and that's where you create it. So, but unfairly to say that it's just my fault.
No, that was a joke, really.
It's not a joke. And I don't
Because you
take
made
things.
the comment.
No, I'm gonna tell you right now, we're in the public, and everything we say is
Yeah, I
matter
know
of
that's
record.
right
So
there.
everything that's said should be taken completely serious. And and I think that's unfair. But hey, listen, that's your opinion, and I'll take that.
You should maybe watch your mouth then. You said that in a meeting
So
that's on the record.
I don't need
so
to watch.
maybe watch.
I don't
what
need
you
to watch
say.
my mouth. Okay, I am extremely aware of that situation.
Okay.
So, and again, is that okay? So a decision that you make today, and you have no clue how it'll turn out tomorrow, but you know what? I'll take that. That's fine.
No,
I accept that. That's good.
But I think I think John Over, truly, if he looked at that property and said that was zoned commercial, and that's what he was saying here, and And there was no zoning. You actually had to fix it. I'm sure you all remember having to fix it and designate all those properties in town. You fixed it. It is zoned residential. So he either in error or in ineptitude failed at his job, and it cost this community, and I heard the lawsuit cost over $80,000. Don't know if that's right or not, but
Speculation on what it is. See, that's the
But-
problem that we
but-
have in the city of
yeah.
Uniontown is
But
having non-truths
put that
out
on him.
there.
Or how about getting a new one? Why do we still have him? If he's incompetent,
See, I disagree with that. I disagree with the statement. They are a very capable firm.
they are.
And they're
I'm
proven.
talking about him.
So
He's the leader. It falls to the leader. Anyway, so one last comment, and you're really not going to like this one. But I really have tried to work with you guys, and I'm not speaking to you. You weren't even involved in any of this. You've never given me any issues. But Mayor Gerke, Jared, I texted you once, and Tim, you three absolutely have ghosted me. You absolutely will not even reply to a text
I don't erase any of
message.
my text messages, so I could confirm or not confirm that. So,
Well, this was
you know,
a while back.
God, this is getting interesting, Debbie. This is really good topics here.
Well, Mayor Gerke, I sent you a text this week. Did you answer me?
Little tidbits.
Did you
I got some
text
little
me?
tidbits of truth here too.
I don't
I'll
think
let
you
get
did,
to as well.
Debbie.
Oh, I can show it to you. It's right in my phone right now.
Let me see if you text.
Yeah, let me see this.
And
I don't
Tim,
think you
I
did.
texted you in March and asked you, could you please talk to us? All I
No,
would,
I-
if you
I-
couldn't talk, all you had to say is,
I
we're
don't
not
think you
able
did.
to
If you
discuss
did,
it right now, but you
I did
just,
not receive it. Let me look.
So, Friday, February 17th, 2023 at 7:17 p.m., I have Bravo clapping hands and Bravo clapping hands from you. And
for me.
yeah, and the previous one before that says, Jared, sorry I saw this. It's D. Miller at your email address. I can give that out if you'd like.
My
So
email.
before that is February 17th. It's all the same day. What is your email? And you gave it to me. So that's, Debbie, that's the last conversations that I've had
I
with
have
you. And
nothing
that-
from you. I have your-
this
I have
is-
your
this is,
number,
sir.
but I have nothing from you,
You
Debbie.
know, hey, listen,
I knew I would have called you. Okay.
I
This is what I
do,
sent you.
I do appreciate the
What's my-
conversation.
what number
I
did you
I
send
think it's
that
great.
to?
I do.
Just see
I'm
what it is.
sorry?
I don't have, you can see that, Debbie. I don't have anything from you.
Yes.
I don't have anything
Well,
from you.
that's why you're not answering.
That is. And see what number you have, Debbie.
You could be, please, discuss
Okay.
this. We know it's
What number do you have there? I mean, can you tell me what
All of
number it
those
is?
plans are,
Yeah.
they're on record there.
I do
you
have your
know,
number.
They should. And not even that, like I could even go even further, like, well,
I didn't
because we
know
do
what-
our own zoning,
okay.
so then the county wouldn't have any.
72488, yeah, that's my number.
But those are available.
Yes, that's my number.
And
I did not receive that.
saw them before in the courthouse.
I did not receive that,
I
Debbie.
want to see.
I sent it.
Okay.
And it's been happening to me, and I thought,
Now, what day did you send that? You, it was about three.
but my comment was going to be,
Was,
that you're heard by the citizens.
okay,
You should
no,
talk to them.
I never received it, but if you want to talk to me, I pride myself on returning every call, if it's positive or negative. I return every call.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
I don't know what
I pride
happened
myself
there,
on
but
that.
I have it here, 10:01 Tuesday.
Tuesday this week,
Yes.
I was in Uniontown. No, never received it.
well,
All right, well,
Send it to me again. Let's see if you, why don't you send it now?
I was gonna say Deb, you should send another text message to me to see if I get it now,
Okay.
because I go all the way back to 2023, and that's our last. And you were applauding me, bravo, bravo.
And I'm sure that it was something to deal with the Dollar General, which is really proof for everybody out there that you're only as good as what you did last. So remember that whenever you get involved in this. So, you know, hey, you come in here, you do the best absolute job you can. And that's that. You know what? You hope that everybody recognizes that. And you know what? Outside of that, on November 4th, whatever happens, happens. You know what? And either way, man, I'm going to be happy. I win either way. If I get voted a vacation in November 4th, then I win. You know, that's what I'm trying to tell you is like, you know, you guys put me here to do this. And if you don't actually sit here and if you do not believe 100% with your whole heart that I do the best job that I can on that with the finances, then you shouldn't vote for me.
It hasn't come, kid. I don't know what you're doing. What else?
So
6168.
you know, I got a little bit of tidbits to myself. You know,
Go ahead.
for a year, 2 years, 3 years, I've been pounding it. Okay, it actually took me last month to actually pose the question to the city. Yeah, pose the question to the city: is if do we all even live in the city? Because then I went to even to explain that, you know, you can get the financial disclosures, you can get the residency. And even a few months before that, even getting into a year, I had told you that 20 Winona, we held a fire escrow on 20 Winona. But we also have, and here's the thing, that some people don't care about that. They would rather hear what they want to hear, but they don't want to hear the truth of it. Okay, so you have people, you have a person on council that does not have the right address, doesn't even fill out the financial disclosures properly, but yet we'll be able to go out there and run an active smear campaign. That's fine. So, but let me drop the tidbit of the truth that we have here. Is 20 Winona Street. The city holds a fire escrow in the amount of $33,433.33. And we've held that. So I guess my question is, Trace, Mr. Thomas, did you live in that house whenever the fire started?
Prior to that, yeah.
You lived there prior to that? So then why on your residency papers, why would you put 20 Winona Street and not put your actual address? And it didn't happen until last month when I actually had to pose the question, and I've been beating this horse. So, and that's that. You know, when I said I was let down and very disappointed in the actions of management and the administrators in this city, you know, I have been extremely disappointed. And I have been very outspoken about issues in the city that have been falling on deaf ears. You know, and here's the thing is that, you know, you started out lying and not being truthful, and then you continue, you know, and that's the thing is to me, you know, I gotta say, man, it's hard to sit here and know that the falsehoods and then hear what is said and the support that's given, which is just a total farce. You know, and I'm sitting here telling you that person is not qualified and has not been qualified. Doesn't even, you know what? I even said that, like, you know, here's the thing, because people don't listen. I give these little tidbits for people to ask the questions, but no one asks. So I had to come here today and to tell the answers. So, you know, you're required to turn a financial disclosure in every single year to declare what debt you are, what interest you have in businesses, where you work. Okay, it's no secret. I talk about it openly. I work for Fayette County, and I work for the city of Uniontown. Okay, and all of my debt's on there, and you know for sure where I'm at. But when we talk about it and I say nothing's said. It's like it's okay. Yeah, you know,
So at the same time, you know, I really appreciate that, the conversation. You know, I enjoy it. I do. I enjoy it. You know what I mean? I don't agree with that, but it's cool. It's your opinion, and you know, and I value that too at the same time. Like, and I hope you know that and just respect that. You know what I mean?
Well, can I say something to you? I would have that never would have come up tonight. Except the other day I was sitting, where did this all start? That's where I went
Yeah.
back with that, but really.
Well, I do like your analogy of how the Dollar General was my fault. I appreciate that. You know, and I'll tell you what, and I tell you what I will appreciate too is, the fact that when the project comes to completion, when it does come to completion, I will make sure that the proper value is put on there, and that will be a continuing
Okay.
tax generator for us.
But hopefully, Mayor, I'm really hoping you guys can get together, just have, I think if you can get some answers for us, I think we put a whole bunch of people, I'm actually adding this, because I'm across the street from that. If water comes, my basement's waterproof, I'm really not, and I'm sitting on the high, I'm not down there until it is. So I don't like the trees disappearing. Oh, and I forgot something to show you. This is what is happening over there on the mansion property, right at the little house right now. This is a dumpster with a dirty, filthy mattress. It's been there for 3 weeks. We've contacted code enforcement.
Debbie, I'll promise you, I think you heard Jamie's talk. She's not here now.
Yeah.
We meet twice, 3 times a week at 7 o'clock in the morning. If I ask her, I never tell anyone. I ask Jamie, hey Jamie, we got a problem.
We've called, she's trying to resolve it, but she's trying to get
Okay,
county calling to move it, and why in the heck isn't it the responsibility of that property owner
To move that.
matters in that?
I'll have a talk,
almost empty
I'll have a
pit?
talk with Jamie
Dumpster.
tomorrow, and we'll get to the bottom of that,
And
okay?
this tree limb is on that same property. It's broken loose, it's hanging down, and it's been there since the great storm that Charlie was talking about.
Okay,
And it's hanging over the sidewalk.
okay.
They have sent somebody out, they do not, my first husband was a landscaper. He could have had that thing done, in an hour. I can look at that.
Okay, we'll get on that. Does Jamie have those pictures?
No, she doesn't.
Okay, she'll have them tomorrow.
She saw the dumpster thing. She
Okay.
drove by the dumpster.
I'll speak with her tomorrow, okay?
Okay, all right,
Not a
thank you so
problem.
much.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Councilman Thomas, before we leave, yes or no, did you falsify your financial statements for the city of Uniontown?
Tim? So this is a public comment session of the meeting, so no individual council member is required to respond or answer any specific questions. That's not something you're required to respond to. If you want to respond to it, you have the ability to. Again, it's not something that is required for a response. Certainly, it'd be relevant for further discussion if you'd like, but
Councilman Thomas, did you falsify your state of residency to the county?
Jared, just stop. What logic are you trying to prove? Like, nobody's going after you. Like, this is just like out of nowhere. Like, this is crazy.
So it's crazy to call out people that don't tell the truth and turn in falsified documents? Yes or no?
Tim?
again, you're not required to answer any questions. I think the questions were asked, point was made, you're declining to answer any of those questions, which is certainly within your right to do so. I'm not sure, did you have any other comments for the public at this point?
The information is public knowledge, and you can make a request at the City Hall Administration Office for the right to know. Or you could just simply.
Who's on council has to live in the city limits.
Correct, so it is a requirement that any publicly elected official within the city reside within the city.
And they would move out, they'd have to resign as council.
That's generally correct, yes. Yeah. If they move their permanent residency outside of the city, correct.
Anything else for this evening? Any more public comment? If not, that's all I have to you.
Thank you very much, Mayor. We will adjourn the meeting. Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to adjourn to meet next, on Thursday, November 6th, 2025 at 5 o'clock p.m. Adjournment time is 7:17 p.m. Councilman Winfrey?
Yes.
Councilman Billy?
Yes.
Councilman Thomas?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes,
And that is all we have.
and thank you all for attending.
I'm so glad that I found out something that not only just be the answer.
What's that? Yeah, I tell, like, I'm
I'm
not
gonna
the,
call your office.
okay,
like,
no, I take every call, I take every one serious.